whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, the Wall Street Journal reports that executives are getting frustrated with workers who check their phones during meetings.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
Pay attention.
Have you ever seen the cats? The cats videos? They're very funny.
No,
have you ever seen those?
I'm not.
Very funny.
I don't want to see a video. I just would fire everybody under 50. Because all they do, they got to walk across the street checking their phones. You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do?
No, but tell the world what you want to do. You want to run them over as they cross the street? Is that what you're going to say? Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. I'm with a maniac. In today's episode, the Mavericks fire Nico. LSU contends it has not fired Brian Kelly.
Oh, please.
And Jeff Saturday joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with last night's Monday night game, which was a snoozer. There was no score at all in the first half. Ultimately, Philadelphia beat Green Bay 10-7 in what would charitably be called a defensive struggle. The Packers have now lost 2 straight games in Lambeau.
Good.
The Eagles have won 3 in a row. Wilbon, what does this result say to you about each team?
It says it about not just the teams, but the whole league. We can start with the teams. There are no great teams. Mm-hmm. The Eagles may become great again, and this sort of, validate by repeating as champions of the league, but there's no great team in the league. People wanted to tell us that Buffalo was great. No, Buffalo's not great. Detroit looks good again.
But what if they run the table?
Run the table, then we'll get to that point where they run the table. Thank you for introducing that today. But the Packers are weird.
Yeah.
And we can stop with the love is MVP nonsense.
No.
We can stop with that.
No.
And so the Packers, they have a pretty good damn defense, though.
Yes, they do.
They can stop you, but they can't score, which is weird for a Green Bay team. Now, I know they've lost their tight end, who was the second most important player offensively, Kraft, on that squad. But, Tony, you look at these two, and they look like the rest of the league, which is some Sundays or Mondays, they're capable, some they're not.
I'm going to go from the macro to the micro here, and I'm going to start with Green Bay. Green Bay has scored in the last 2 games a total of 20 points.
Yes.
They have just 2 touchdowns produced in their last 17 possessions, right? These games were both in Lambeau, which is one of the great advantages in the entire league.
Maybe the best home field.
So I think, thank you for mentioning Jordan Love, I think we need to look at Jordan Love. Because Jordan Love in those 2 games has no touchdown passes and 1 interception. And he seems to be, this is his 3rd year of starting every game, and he seems to be just sort of spinning in place. They traded up to draft him, and they thought that he would be in the company of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And so far, he is not. He's 1-2 in the playoffs, including a 3-pick, no touchdown game against these same Eagles last year. You mentioned their defense, and their defense has allowed in their 3 losses just 39 points.
Yeah.
Just 39. 13 to Cleveland, 17 to Carolina, and 10. They should have won all 3 of those games. And they... like when Jordan Love looks pretty good, he looks like an above-average quarterback, but he doesn't look special. It's hard to be a special quarterback.
Well, even if 5-1-1, you're looking at it thinking, okay, this is where the Packers are supposed to be. But now, how about this? This makes me, made me so happy about last night's loss.
Well, you're happy
when
the Packers lose.
You know where the Packers are in the NFC Central standings?
Are they behind Chicago at this point?
Yeah. At 5-3-1.
Give me 20 seconds on Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is fine. Philadelphia is a dependable team. They're not a flashy team.
No.
They are a pretty
not
much
great yet.
No, I'm not saying they're great.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're great. I'm saying they are dependable, and they don't turn the ball over. Only 4 turnovers all year. That's the best in the league. And so down the road, that has to help you. You can go through the season like this if nobody else is great. Can you just tell me one thing?
What's that?
What was Sirianni doing going fourth
down
on
and not punting the ball,
seconds?
not giving
with
yourself
a small
an extra
lead,
few seconds and yards? But he'll double down. That's what coaches do.
Doesn't it seem insane?
They double down. Say they were right. Absolutely.
Seems insane to me.
The Dallas Mavericks. Here we go.
Thank you.
Finally made the move that Tony's been predicting, obsessing over since February, firing general manager Nico Harrison. Fan chants of fire Nico, you can hear them. They rained down last night in a loss to Milwaukee, in which the Mavericks blew a 13-point lead to fall to 3-8. Their worst start in 7 years. Tone, you said Harrison's trade of Luka should lead to his firing.
Yes.
It has now. Is it justified? I'm sure you'll say it is.
It is, yeah.
But how do you feel about the timing?
Well, let me get to the justification.
Okay.
Is it justified? It should have happened a long time ago. It's late. Okay, that's the worst trade I have ever seen in my life.
There are many who would concur.
Just a terrible, terrible trade. And by the way, where have you ever seen a hometown crowd chant for the firing of a GM? Like, they don't even know the names of GMs most of the time.
Yeah, this is bad.
That is amazing. That's an amazing thing.
The home games are depressing. If you talk to people who were there in Dallas, they come away thinking, oh my God, this was unpleasant. That's how bad it is.
So let me go to the trade again. So he trades Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Luka Doncic, a great player and a fan favorite, right? Anthony Davis gets hurt all the time, and his derisive nickname is Street Clothes. Yeah. Okay, and so now Luka's team, without LeBron playing a minute, is 8-3, and that's pretty much all Luka. And Dallas's team is 3-8. They're 3-8 at the moment. And the worst part for Dallas, for ownership, is that people have stopped going. They're being hurt in the pocketbook. So they had to do this, and they should have done this before.
I feel bad because the trade is not a trade that any of us, it seems, would have made. I know, getting to know Nico a little bit. Nico Harrison didn't do this by himself. And I'm not going to sit here and act like he did it by himself.
The owner has to agree.
Because I know better.
The owner has to agree.
The owner didn't just agree. The owner was involved, okay? That's what I'm told, and I know, and I'll bet on that every day.
But he's not going to fire himself.
No, he's not going to fire himself.
No.
And so Nico has to take accountability. I'm not saying he shouldn't.
That's right.
And the home games, I've started to watch Dallas because I thought if Anthony Davis was out there, God help me, if Cooper Flagg was great away as the number one choice, and he isn't.
Not yet.
And this notion of him playing point guard, Jason Kidd, a great coach. I don't know what the hell that's about. Because he ain't a point guard, and he ain't going to never be a point guard
and
ever.
Kyrie Irving,
okay?
not playing.
Kyrie's hurt and not there. And all those players on that team, P.J. Washington, Derek Lively, they're all dependent on a playmaking guard, and that ain't Cooper Flagg.
They had one.
So it's doomed.
They had two.
They had two.
They had two. Now they have
none.
Now they have none. And that trade hangs over that team and that building like a curtain.
It does.
It's terrible.
It does. I just don't want to hear Nico being here. Where's the owner? Where's he? Take some accountability.
I'll tell you
You're
where
the billionaire.
I'll tell you where the owner
billionaire
is.
bully. Take some blame.
The owner is the guy who just fired
And he's hiding
Nico.
behind Nico.
Let's stick with the topic of famous guy firings. We all thought LSU fired Brian Kelly 2 weeks ago and had to pay him the entire compensation package, which was, $54 million. Now LSU is taking the position that Kelly wasn't actually formally terminated. In a legal filing, Kelly's attorneys say that LSU is seeking now to fire Kelly with cause to avoid that huge payout. Wilbon, what do you make of LSU's position in the Brian Kelly settlement?
It's laughable. It's either somewhere between disingenuous and a flat-out lie. They got rid of him because he wasn't winning enough. Anything else, by letter or not, is a lie. That's why they fired him. Now, if I'm Brian Kelly's agent, I am sticking to this, and I say until you get to $54 million with a comma, don't even call us. Don't give us the rest of this garbage about cause.
All right, so other things may later come out in this. I don't know. But from what I know now, I'm looking to see what the cause could possibly be. Because they fired him because, yes, he didn't win enough games. So are they going to turn around and they gave him this contract? He didn't demand it. They gave him the contract. Are they going to turn around now and say he tanked the games and that's cause? He tried to win. He tried to fit in. He even came up with that dopey Southern accent as he tried to be good there. So you have to tell me what the cause is. In the contract, moral turpitude. Are they going to find that? That's in the contract. NCAA violations. Are they going to find that? That's in the contract. But it's going to be just wins and losses. And by the way, he was 34-14 while he was there and 3-0 in bowl games. And if colleges could fire coaches for cause at any time they wanted, there'd be 100 guys out on the street tonight. 100 guys, they just fire everybody.
That's right. So, but now with record, and that's the reason why they all want to be able to do it now. By all, I mean the 10 or 12 who are so damn arrogant they think it's their birthright to win a national championship.
I don't see the cause
and be in the
here.
CFP because there is none. The cause is because he didn't win enough.
That's right.
That's the cause.
That's right.
Lies. Stop it.
I think the governor may have
Please.
something to do with it. I'm not
Come
certain.
on.
Let's take a break.
LSU.
Coming up is Mike Kafka. That's how it's
Better.
pronounced. It's not Kafka.
Kafka.
Getting a fair test to get the Giants' full-time job. We're going to ask Jeff Saturday.
We're also going to ask him to choose between the more impressive blocks Darnell Wright threw.
Mike, who's going to take the LSU job now?
Anybody, they're going to pay up.
Let's dig into the NFL trenches with our great friend, ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday. Here's the first question. I was watching this. Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson got carted off in the second quarter last night, but then he returned in the fourth quarter. As a lineman, how do you know when to risk it by returning or to save yourself for another day?
Oh, listen. First of all, I thought he was done for the year. When he got rolled up, I was like, we just lost one of the best in the business. And again, gets carted off. You're thinking terrible things. And then this animal comes back, with 6 minutes or whatever it is left. Here's the thing about offensive line that people don't realize. We play for each other. So he knows what Landon Dickerson has faced already. He knows Juergens has been out. Toth's been having to play. We all got problems, man. We all got pain. If we can get out there and be effective for our team, we're playing through pain. That's what Lane Johnson showed us. Total respect, man, for getting back out there. And again, we don't talk about, should we? We do until we can't at the O-line position. And that's exactly what he showed last night.
Not just hockey players are tough.
That's right.
Guys in the trenches are tough. Speaking of, Jeff, Darnell Wright, who was working his way into my heart, had 2 great blocks the last 2 weeks. Against the Bengals, he took somebody all the way to the sideline. And then he Michael Spinksed Brian Burns of the Giants. Which one of those blocks impressed you more and why?
All right, so I did the first block, the run block on pancakes. So he got 3 pancakes for that block. Ooh. Where he washed the whole side down and just takes them and drives them from hash, basically to hash. So that was 3. And then this morning, I had him on there with the Brian Burns, and it was a crepe, right? So it's like a light, it's like a little app for breakfast, right? that ain't the real thing. He caught Burns on a spin, dumped him down. I loved it, but we can't go all the way. And I will say this, because Dominique Foxworth, who's my cohort there on Get Up, made sure I said, Burns got the better of him a few times, so there was a little pissed off in the action for when he caught him in the spin and made him pay. The only thing I would have liked more is for Darnell to jump on him. As soon as he hits his back, get on top, make sure he knows that you're there. But he's had a heck of a little run these last couple of weeks.
Wright's becoming a big time player now, finally, isn't he?
Absolutely, he's getting there, and it takes time. He's still got some issues on the outside edge, but he'll be the real deal in time.
I want to ask you about a guy that I know a little bit, Mike Kafka, who is now taken over from Brian Daboll. And the Giants are reportedly looking at this as a 7-game test, like an audition of his, sort of head coaching abilities. You've been into him. You know how difficult this is. Is it fair? Can you do anything in that short period of time in an audition?
Well, I think for Kafka, the good thing for him is he's been in the building for a time, right? He's already worked with Jackson Dart, who you hope comes back from concussion protocol. You've already seen the way he's developed. Scadaboo before the injury, Neighbors, right? So there's some water under the bridge for him. He's also been a finalist for a couple of jobs already, and so he's kind of built his credibility in this building. And I think with Shane and the relationship he's seen from the development of Jackson Dart, I think that's where the true audition comes in, right? Is already knowing the guys in the building, building from the relationship you've already started with these guys, and then showing them kind of, hey, this is what it looks like. Now, wins and losses, it's hard to attribute